Wow. Hello, everybody. This is Crow for SportsCrapology.com, coming to you from Knoxville, Tennessee. I was going to talk to you about the NFL, and particularly the Cleveland Browns, in particular Shedeur Sanders. All this hoopla about Shedeur Sanders. I told you he's the best option Cleveland has. They need to put him in there and start him. Okay, do I think he did great on Friday? When the Browns started him Friday, their first preseason game against the Carolina Panthers, who are not a very good team personnel-wise or coaching-wise. I think they're going to finish above the Saints, but that's about it in the NFC South. So he started against them. Did he look good? Do I think he looked good? No, I don't think he looked very good. I think he has a lot of work to do. There was receivers wide open down the middle of the field that he wasn't even looking at because he was looking somewhere else. He was locked in on some other receiver. Did he look good on some plays? Yeah. He had some real good throws. He had some bad throws. Yeah, he had some bad throws too. He scrambled a couple times, showed he's got pretty quick feet. He can get away from the rush maybe. You know, he might be able to escape the rush a few times instead of getting sacked, which is good. I mean, I'll tell you, these people are like, you know, they got to start him. He's the savior of the Browns and blah, blah, blah. That's a bunch of crap. He'll be a solid NFL quarterback, though, I think. Not in his first year, because no rookie is in his first year. Dan Marino was. Who else do we have? C.J. Stroud, I think, and Dan Marino are like the only ones who really do that. But anyway, Shedeur Sanders on Friday night, he was 14 of 23, 60%, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's against a Carolina Panthers second-string defense. Remember, that's not the starting defense. He had some of the first-string receivers out there. He didn't have the running backs. I think he had the second-string offensive line, some first-stringers, only a couple first-stringer offensive line from the offensive line. And, you know, he did okay. You know, for a rookie, he did what's expected for a good rookie. You know, not a fifth-round rookie. He did good for what's expected for a second-round, first, second, third-round quarterback rookie. Should they start him? Yes. They should start him. They should release Flacco, trade Dylan Gabriel, trade Kenny Pickett, let Tyler Huntley be his backup, and get someone else to just run the practice squad. If they still have Dorian Thompson, whatever his guy's name is, with 3 names from UCLA, let him run the practice squad and be done with it. You know, you can trade, you can get something for Pickett. You can get draft picks. I would get draft picks. I get draft picks for Kenny Pickett and for Dylan Gabriel. As long as one of them hasn't completely torn their hamstring. One of them's completely torn their hamstring and they got to staple it back together, and that's a whole year recovery, and they're not going to be worth anything in a trade. But that's what I would do, and start Shedeur Sanders is your best option. He's not the greatest quarterback ever. He's not going to... Freaking Cam Ward will be better than Shedeur Sanders. They both start every game for their teams. Cam Ward, well, Tennessee's not really a very solid team. Cleveland, I said, has a better running game. Shedeur Sanders will probably... I'm sure the Browns will have a better record, but he's not going to be a C.J. Stroud. He's not going to be Dan Marino as a rookie. But he's going to be a solid quarterback in his second or third year. He'll be a real good quarterback. And you never know. In 5 years, 4 or 5 years, Shedeur Sanders might be one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. He has all the resources. I mean, how did Peyton Manning get there? He had all the resources. His dad played for the Saints for years. He was coached by pros from the time he was a kid. You know, how did Peyton become a football, genius? That's how. He was around it all the time. He was around these pros all the time. So was Shedeur. I'm just saying, you guys don't get real high or real low on this guy. I think he's gonna be a good pro quarterback someday. I think if you start him in his rookie year, he'll have some really bad games where he throws 3 or 4 interceptions, and he'll have some really good games where he throws 3 or 4 touchdowns. Or maybe runs for a touchdown. Anyway, that's my take on Shedeur Sanders. It always has been. You need to start him. He's your best option. This is Crow for sportscrapology.com. You can see these videos there. You can see them on YouTube at Sports Crapology. And you can go to crowscrapology.com on Facebook. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the NFL and the college football season. And we'll have some NFL previews coming up, just like my predictions of who's going to win each division. And maybe why, maybe not why. You know, all I can tell you is the Cardinals are pretty much a mess. Kellen Moore's going to have a hard time with the Saints. And, you know, I know those two teams are going to be pretty messy. We'll get into it when we do our preview.